Phil, selection-wise on Wednesday, what do you think the manager might do?
The right back is obviously the question mark, isn't it? I don't know if Conor Bradley's back in training.
There was rumours he might be back for this, but there's no press conference yet to say that.
There was a video on Sky Sports News, and I couldn't see him, but he's in a training photo. There's a training photo of him, but it's only in the gym. So I've no real idea.
Start him.
I have no idea. Ultimately, it's a massive concern for me because I think one of the reasons that the last 40 minutes against PSG and basically the entire cup final was a problem is that we didn't have a right back. Quansah, I like Quansah, but I like him as a centre back. He just isn't a right back. Everybody else knew he wasn't a right back as well, and it's limited us twice against Newcastle this season, and it's been quite alarming just how much of a difference it made. Sorry, go on, Josh.
I was just going to say, do you reckon there's scope to play a midfielder in there?
I would have done this for the final, to be honest. I wanted us to play Jones there in the final.
Jones is the option.
It makes more sense. Full-backs are attacking threats for Liverpool in home games like this, and I just don't really see how a centre-back is the right man to play there. But, ideal world, I would like Bradley to be there because I think he offer quite a lot in a game like this. But if it's a choice between a midfielder and a centre-back, then I would go midfielder every time, whether it's Curtis Jones, Endo, Szoboszlai. If you wanted to do something a bit wild like that, there would be, for me, better things to do than play Quansah there, because I almost don't think it's fair on him. Like, the teammates clearly have an issue with passing to him in the same way. I know that sounds like a really basic thing to say, but I remember the Newcastle away game. I could see from very high up, Gravenberch could get the ball and he'd look there, go to pass to him, and then you could almost hear the cogs in his head go, "You can't pass there."
Yeah.
And he'd turn back inside, and Joelinton or Tonali or Guimaraes or whoever was playing for Newcastle that day clat into him, win the ball, and we'd be on the back foot, and it was just a real problem. And you talked about how Everton played in the game 2 months ago, about how they were aggressive on the midfielders. How they were aggressive on the midfielders, and if you take the option away from passing to the right back, you don't have to make that a lot more difficult.
Yeah, City did that with Kuzanov's debut. They got to a point early on where they were like, just don't pass through him for a bit. I think Bernardo Silva just basically took care of him. So I know what you're saying there, and I think the Newcastle game was a problem. I think the Goodison game, I don't think we have strength for that game, do we?
No, he comes on.
So in that game,
Bradley started.
Everton's kind of plan of just waiting for the ball to drop into the midfield and then hunting it down and allowing Canate and Virgil the ball. That can be a problem if you've got Trent there, because if you're allowing Trent time and space, he just lifts his head and he's just finding like Salah or whatever running him behind. But if it's Quansah, you just don't have that kind of cheat code almost. So it is a bit of an issue, and I agree with you. I think, especially at Anfield, I would favour a Jones over a Quansah, if we had to pick between the two of them.
What about midfield, Kev?
Yeah,
we'll have to make a case there for maybe Jones starting a full back. Do you think A, you might do that, but B, what would you do in the middle of the park? Would it be the normal three for you?
Yeah, it's the normal three for me. The same as the tie at Goodison. I don't think there's any questions there. I like the fact that Gravenberch had a wee break. I think he was abroad for a nice little weekend away, or week away, which is quite nice, considering he was looking extremely tired at Wembley. I felt for him. So it'll be great to have him back. McAllister's off the back of a nice little international break. I think he got a goal as well, which is good. What's nice about it is usually they'll fly in on the Thursday and then, they'll maybe have a light session on the Friday, and then you're straight into a game and it's a 3 p.m, or it's a 12, half 12, isn't it? On the Saturday. And to have this little break is nice. I also think that Arne Slot's probably had to think about what he's going to do at right back. I think if he's seen that Bradley's getting there, I don't think he's going to risk him. So,
it's a big game to throw him in. I know I joked before, but it is a massive football match to just throw him back in. He hasn't been out that long, but given his injury history, he probably will have an eye just looking after him as well.
This manager is quite adept at basically going, you're playing 60 and that is all you're playing.
Yeah,
I don't care what happens in this game of football, you're coming off on 60.
And this is what I mean. He seems to have his mind made up. I think, it's not just us that's had 17 days without Liverpool playing. It's Arne Slot, and I think he'll have been straight onto the Everton game and what we're going to do there. I thought that Connor played okay against them in the game at Goodison. I thought Connor was okay. I think, he comes off for Trent, and I think it's quite a physical game for him then. So you can imagine that he's not going to throw him into this one, because this is going to be physical again. I do think it's going to be Kwanzaa to come in there, and that's just indicative of what the manager's like. I think he just knows what he wants, and that's that. McAllister, Gravenberch, and Szoboszlai for his legs, and I want to see Szoboszlai back in there and really wanting it, because I think he'll be really important for us in this game.
The most interesting call, Josh, is probably what he does up top. You know, Mohamed Salah's going to be starting. There's no debate about that. But what do you think he does in the other positions?
I'm not sure, actually. It feels like a long time since we saw Gakpo firing. Is he back fit now? Is he fine?
He scored for Holland, didn't he? Yeah.
Right. So I'd get Gakpo involved, I think, on the left. And I think the 9 I would probably give to Diaz, because I don't know, I've struggled watching Jota's last few games. Like, I don't want to get too carried away, because it's been in tricky circumstances at times, but he's offered very little. Like, I wouldn't use Núñez in this game, I don't think. I think I'd go with Diaz, but yeah. What do you think on the Jota thing?
I think it's difficult, because I don't think anyone can make a case for saying Jota's been playing well, because he clearly hasn't. But then it's almost like there's no ideal solution for me, really, because I don't think, I think Diaz at certain times has performed that role quite well, but it's also clear that in other games it's not really happening for him, and he's dropping in deep, and Liverpool look like they're just missing something up top. And then you got the Núñez question, and fuck me, I mean, God knows. I mean, you just don't know. He could start and score, or he could start and get sent off, or he could start and just frustrate the life out of you by doing loads of stupid things for 90 minutes. So I think on that one, I can understand why the manager might not look towards him. But I do think it's a tricky decision, Phil. I'm guessing you wouldn't be advocating for Diaz starting as the 9, no, because you've not really been a fan of that.
I've been a fan of it, but I've probably been more of a fan of it than I've been watching Jota the last 6 weeks.
I think that's kind of where I am.
The thing that's frustrating me about Jota isn't that he's been doing things badly or been doing things well. He's just been doing nothing. Like, he's not been impacting games. He's not been helping the team out. Sounds like a hard way of phrasing it, but like Núñez will run in behind and stretch a defence or something like that. He's not got it in him. Like, he just doesn't have it within his sort of physical makeup to stretch a defender or hold a ball up, and that I've found that really problematic. I actually would go with the Diaz through the middle thing, simply because when you think back to when the first time we did it was that Leverkusen game, wasn't it? And he talked about, was it Jonathan Tah? And he talked about how he sort of dragged him out of position. Now, James Tarkowski wants to defend a penalty box, doesn't he? They have defenders who don't want to be, looking 10 yards away in front of them and going, well, where's the centre forward gone? They want someone who will stand next to them, try and go into the limited space behind them, and that's where they want to defend. They want the game played in their terms, and I think playing Diaz there takes it away from them.